Hey everyone, Petko here. Welcome back to the channel. As promised, Season 4 Mythic Plus guide will be updated. In today's video, we're gonna talk about talents, builds, stats, what to focus, trinkets, weapons, everything that you have to know about Shaman Mythic Plus is gonna get covered today. Stay tuned and enjoy the video. Alright, so first thing first, let's talk about builds. There are several builds available currently on the Season 4. The first and the most common build, and I consider myself the best build overall, Echoes of the Great Sundering. That is a build that you should learn, especially if you're a beginner shaman, before trying anything more complex. This guide will cover mostly Echoes, so if you guys are interested in learning how to play DRE, which is a build that I'm playing myself, sometimes in high keys, let me know in the comments below so I can make another video specifically devoted to DRE. DRE is the second build that I'm going to mention right now. DRE stands for Deeply Rooted Elements, and it's a build that I primarily focus on like smaller dungeons, like Upper Karazhan, like Workshop for example, like Depot, right? It gives me more single target and is better like for 2, 3, 4 target cleave in a way. But anything above that, Echoes is far better, right? At last, we have the Necro build, which is the Skybreaker's Necro build. The pretty much 100% uptime on Elemental. Now that is a build that I myself haven't tested fully, but now that's going to be tested on stream in the upcoming weeks. Again, every single build that you guys gonna hear me talking today is being played on stream every single day from 9:30 in the morning Central European summertime until like whenever I call a stream off. So even if you haven't seen the video, even if the video is delayed, you can obviously join stream, watch and play it. But that build is gonna get covered likely later on. If you guys have interest in specifically learning Skybreaker's Necrolord, let me know in the comments below. I can make a separate video for that one, right? Or I can combine them together. Anyway, let's begin with Echoes. Why you should play Echoes. First of all, Echoes is the most basic build of shamans and is the easiest to learn, and I advocate that for every single shaman, please learn how to play Echoes before you play anything more complex. Now, stats wise for Echoes are very simple: crit, haste, verse, mastery. Crit, anything below, anything around 35 crit is perfectly fine. Haste wise, I don't go more than 25% haste because I'm getting the shrouded haste bounty. I always play with haste bounty, that's why I play with lower haste right now. Verse wise, I go with 15%. It helps me survive. Now again, you can go for lower versatility, especially if you play lower case, that's fine. You can put instead mastery or haste or more crit, that's fine. I prefer to play with 15% verse at least to survive. Okay, at last we have mastery. I myself am not a huge fan of mastery, especially Mythic Plus, but I cannot deny that it's pretty good for our single target. So I would go anywhere with around 25% mastery. Don't go above 35, like 25, 30 are good values. Anything beyond that, getting a bit iffy. Okay, better put all the stats. Now for Echoes build, you can go 2 Covenants, Necrolord or Night Fae. I myself will always go Night Fae. Necro is not as good for Echoes build. So Night Fae Korain is the standard build that I myself consider, as I already said, one of the best builds to have around. And you should go for double potency conduits. Again, Call of Flame to extend your elemental. And the second conduit could be either the Shake the Foundation or Essential Extraction. I myself will go with Essential Extraction, especially if you're a beginner player. If you're a bit more advanced player, you know how to maintain your LE pretty high, you can go for Shake the Foundation. I consider that a little bit better sometimes, but pretty much yeah, there's very small difference between those two. Trinket wise, I myself have several trinkets that I really enjoy. One of them is the core trinket from Upper Karazhan. That is the trinket that drops from the curator boss. It's really good for especially AoE dungeons, and I consider this one of the best trinkets to have. The second trinket can be a variety of them. It could be, for example, the Kabbalist's Hymno from the side Denatrius drop. It could be the Katie Tome from the Katie, which gives obviously passive crit. Could be even the Soleil trinket, the one from the Gambit, you know, that could also be the case. I myself consider all of those good options, and it wouldn't mistaken if you pick either of them. But if I'm to spend your coins, I'll probably spend the dinars first on a weapon, a Tumbra weapon, which is the Rigilon dagger, by far one of the best weapons to have around. Use that one, and second and third dinar probably is gonna be spent on trinkets. Being honest with you. All right, now let's cover the most important part of the video, and that is rotation. How to play actually Shaman Mythic Plus. Very simple. Now for single target, as always, considering you're playing Echoes and you're playing Storm Elemental, you want to make sure you cast as many lava bursts as possible during the Elemental. So for example, you precast your Stormkeeper, you know, a standard opener, lava burst, flame shock, you pop your Elemental, you pop your Fate Transfusion, and by the way, you always want to Fate Transfusion always want to Fate Transfusion after the Elemental, not before. The reason why is because you're gonna get the CDR on the Elemental, so therefore your Ellie will get to recharge much faster. And you wanna spend your lava burst, earth shock, earthquake. If you have none of that, lightning bolt is the substitution to that, but you always make sure you spend your lava burst. All right, now that we know how to play single target, let's talk about AoE, right? For AoE, I've seen people often get confused. Do I cast lava burst in AoE? Do I cast lava surge? What about flame shocks? The truth is, you don't. You want to be casting chain lightning, earth shock, earthquake. That's it. There's no flame shock, there's no lava burst and lava surges. The only exception to this rule is if the pack lasts longer than 45 seconds. Now, how many times does a pack last longer than 45 seconds, Mythic Plus? Never. Unless you play like 28 and 29 keys, sure. But if you play lower keys than that, it doesn't last that long, you know? That's why chain lightning, earth shock, earthquake. Now, you could cast flame shock in the beginning if you want to proc your Korean crit buff, right? That is called first strike. If you want to proc that, you can use flame shock in the beginning just to proc it and then immediately cast your, for example, Stormkeeper. But that's about it, you know? 2 targets, nothing has changed, the same rotation season 3. You maintain double flame shock on targets, you cast lava burst on cooldown, and then earth shock and earthquake. If you have no lava bursts, you want to be casting chain lightning if they're stuck together for 2 targets. It does not matter if you have elemental, if you don't have elemental, double flame shock, lava burst, lava surge on cooldown, earth shock, earthquake. If you have none of that, chain lightning. 3 targets, pretty simple as well. Chain lightning, earth shock, earthquake. If the pack lasts longer than 45 seconds, what do? Exactly. You do the same thing. You want to be casting 4 or 5 lava surges just to get second Eye of the Storm. And by the way, Eye of the Storm is the pet ability that I talk about, especially on Storm Elemental. Okay, remember that. There's no shenanigans like lava surge here and there. What do? Chain lightning, earth shock, earthquake. If pack lasts longer than 45 seconds, 2 lava surges to get second Eye of the Storm, you're done. Simple as that, right? Don't overcomplicate stuff. Alright boys, at last, I want to give you some advices for Mythic Plus that I consider myself very important to learn, okay? So hear me out, and those advices you can pick up and use them for the next expansion event. Alright, first advice, always hold Maelstrom for next pack. Once you finish pack A, hold Maelstrom for pack B, so you can get a faster burst. The higher Maelstrom can guarantee you an extra earth shock. If you're an advanced player, you should be holding Maelstrom and Echoes proc for the next pack, right? You get to the pack, instant earthquake, boom, you know? So don't wait, don't start with pack with 0 Maelstrom, very important. Once the mobs get below 10 to 15%, second tip by the way, always earthquake, never earth shock earthquake. The reason why is because if you earth shock, the likelihood of them dying without using the earthquake is very high. That's why earthquake as soon as you see the mobs go low HP, don't risk it, okay? Alright, so the final thoughts. How is Ellie Shaman performing in the current meta? Well, that's an interesting question, and I'm gonna try to answer it as best as I can. Currently, we're way better than Season 3, that is for sure. Now, are we considered meta? We're not. We're not meta, unlike Survival Hunters and Destrologs and Windwalker Monks and Outlaw Rogues, we're not. However, we are quite competitive. I must say, we have one of the most versatile builds, if not the most versatile class/builds in Mythic Plus. Currently, you can play 3 viable builds and all of them can be pretty good. It's very fun playstyle, if not the most engaging playstyle. Damage-wise, number-wise, we're a little bit behind of those classes, but utility-wise, we're amazing. Survivability, much better. Utility, one of the best. Just the DPS area lacks a little bit. So if we get buffed, for example, our AoE, like Earthquake, for example, a bit, then I could see us, rise a little higher. But until then, I'm happy where we are. Although not meta, we're pretty good. Alright boys, hope you enjoyed the stream. Alright boys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you guys like this kind of content, educational content, make sure to subscribe. It is the best way to show support. It takes 2 seconds, it makes my day. And if you guys are curious about coaching, getting better in Mythic Plus, more advanced stuff, one-on-one stuff, check out Patreon. The best things to find out are there. Until next time, see you on stream. Peace out. Much love. Thank you for watching.